And just to be clear, Carrie, neither Leisnner nor Goldman have been accused of wrongdoing, correct?
Yes, okay. Yes, that is correct.
So to tell us what's going on, but break down the news.
So basically, this is the next chapter, and what we've had is quite an exciting saga into the 1MBD issue, which of course is a sovereign investment fund set up by the Malaysian government. In order to fund that fund, Goldman Sachs, at the time headed by Tim Leisnner in Southeast Asia, helped raise $6 billion or more of bonds, which funded it. And much of that money at this point has disappeared. And so the Department of Justice, authorities in Singapore, and authorities in Switzerland are investigating exactly what happened to that money and if there was embezzlement involved. Now, the second part of that is, of course, now the Department of Justice is looking at Goldman's role in this, and in particular its role in the bond sales that raised the cash for the 1MDB money that at this point appears to have disappeared. So it's basically a broad investigation into what Goldman's role is. As part of that, what we've been able to report is that there was a payment or a transfer of funds made between a former 1MBD employee who at the time, this was well after the bonds had basically been sold by Goldman, made to Leisnner. So we do have a connection of a payment. That does not mean that there was any wrongdoing, but it's obviously a very interesting twist in an obviously very interesting investigation.
Yeah, it raises a lot of questions. And of course, it's not just the DOJ, because you've got authorities in Singapore, Luxembourg, and Switzerland all looking into how money moved into this fund.
Right, exactly. And I think kind of one of the shocking things about this is that it does appear that billions of dollars disappeared basically without permissions of the government. And nobody really knows where that is. And that's basically why we have all these countries around the world trying to figure out where it went.
And of course, the advisory board of this fund was headed by the Malaysian Prime Minister, so it goes pretty high up, Alex.
Right. And there was funds linked back to the Prime Minister, and there was all sorts of kind of odd ways that this was linking back directly to the Malaysian government. Of course, it's still fuzzy enough where we can't really definitively say what's going on.
So what's the next step then in this kind of investigation? How does it proceed?
Well, it proceeds kind of on two paths. So we have the investigation looking into the disappearance of the funds, and now we have the investigation looking at Goldman's role. So we really have to see how that investigation unfolds and if there is any evidence or basically indication that Goldman was involved in any wrongdoing.